So yes, it's roughly Midsummer's Day, which means now the nights start to get darker earlier and winter's on its way, and it's kind of sort of all downhill from here really, although we do have a bit of summer left, inverted commas. So yeah, it's gonna be a long second half of the year, but it's definitely the grimmest. Well, I can't imagine it being grimmer. So you know, I'll randomly do ones that I'm more passionate about that nobody will watch, and I think this is a good one. It's an ode to a Midsummer Night's Dream and all the flowers that appear. Well, not all of them, but some of the flowers that appear in them. In particular, from one stanza, I believe it will be called, a conversation between Oberon and Puck, which goes like this. I know a bank where the wild thyme... I'll start it again when I'm not falling down steps. Right. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where oxlips and nodding violet grows, quite over-canopied with luscious Woodbine, the sweet musk-roses and Eglantine. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where the oxlips and nodding violet grows, quite over-canopied with luscious Woodbine, the sweet musk-roses and Eglantine. There sleeps. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where the oxlips and nodding violet grows, quite over-canopied with luscious Woodbine, the sweet musk-roses and Eglantine. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where the oxlips and the nodding violet grows, quite over-canopied with luscious Woodbine, with sweet musk-roses and Eglantine. There sleeps Tatiana some time of the night, lulled in these flowers with a dance and delight. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm not ashamed to say I didn't get that right first time, or second time, or maybe even third time. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that this whole fragrance video is based around. I love flowers, and I do actually love Shakespeare, so why not? Anyway, let's get into it. So first up is thyme. We all kind of know what thyme is, don't we? It's a herb. We generally have it with chicken or Italian dishes. How does it smell? It smells different to the way it tastes, in my humble opinion. It's kind of just a fresher, aromatic, what does that mean, touch through it all, a little bit greeny, a little bit, sometimes it can have a little kind of citric touch to it, not massively, it's not a citrusy herb, but just a little bit of that freshness to it. And what fragrance have I picked for it? Well, Dryad from Papillon. I actually have quite a few with thyme in it. I wouldn't say it's ever a main note. Now, Dryad is a kind of chypre, and it has them aromatic notes in it. Particularly the thyme is there. More of a kind of drier thyme, not dry thyme, a drier thyme. And it mixes obviously with, you know, the narcissus is a big part of this, the kind of dry spices, the oak mossy base. It's like golden kind of colours. It is a chypre, but it's got a kind of sweeter, more modern touch, more of a floral feel through it, with all them kind of yellows and greens and that, and it's exceptional. And the thyme, like I say, with the other aromatic notes, just that little bit of a kind of green freshness in there that gives it a bit of life in amongst the drier notes. So that's Dryad from Papillon. Next up in there is Woodbine, which is ye olde name for honeysuckle. We all know what honeysuckle is, a kind of a beautiful little flower. It doesn't necessarily smell of honey. It's a bit green and it's a very nectary kind of thing. I suppose it has a kind of golden nectary feel through it. So yeah, we all pretty much know what honeysuckle is. Foxglove. Yeah, so the fragrance I've picked for that is Chiali's, Utopia, Vanille, Cocoa, 21, something like that. Now this one it's a very tropical smelling fragrance. It's got, is it gardenia, Oh, more foxgloves. And now these are important because these will come in later. Take note. Yes, so it's got a creamy kind of coconutty feel, vanilla. It's actually not sickly, and the honeysuckle runs through it as kind of the beautiful floral thing to kind of break it up. Right, hopefully no more interruptions. I'm not holding my breath. So yeah, it's a beautiful soft tropical day one, and that thing like the honeysuckle is what makes this one stand out, because it stops it being overly beachy. And I've been interrupted again. So indeed, it's a beautiful tropical one. Has that kind of white floral touch with the coconut and the vanilla. Obviously it's not too sickly, and like I say, the honeysuckle is a major kind of note that goes through it. It's very lovely. So that is Chiali's Utopia Vanille Cocoa 21. Now oxlips are like cowslips apparently, which are tiny diddy little flowers. I'll put a picture up. But apparently they smell a bit like, they have a kind of apricot hue about them, more so the cowslip than the oxlip, but you know, I'm doing my best here. So we're going to obviously go for a more osmanthusy one. Now this is from A Midsummer Night's Dream, so we're going to go for a really regal one. What would Oberon wear? No, we're going to go for Titania or Titiana or Titania, and what I've picked for that is La Prima from Milano Fragranzi. Now this one is a stunning osmanthus peachy divanery one, so it's all them kind of peachy notes, syrupy, that little bit of furriness, that brightness. There's also a nice animalic touch in it, and Titania would be this kind of regal person wearing furs, the little tiny furs, because she's obviously the queen of the fairies, and she would be very bold, and she's forthright, isn't she? We'll put it that way. She's not a woman to be trifled with, and like I say, this one is just all them beautiful regal peachy syrupy bold fantastic notes. It's a magnificent fragrance, La Prima, and it certainly is one for queen of the fairies. Now again, like I say, cowslip doesn't have a smell. If it smells like apricot, this is the best, isn't it? And osmanthus is the best I could come up with. So that's La Prima. Next is an easy to explain one, and that's violet. We all know what violets are, little violet coloured or pink coloured little flowers that have a magnificently intoxicating smell. Again, can be quite sweet and syrupy, quite dark, quite powdery in fragrance. They're just a very magnificent floral, and definitely one that takes us to magic enchanted places where you think of fairies and things like that. And what I've gone for that is Nicolai's Violet in Love. Now, with all the fragrances that I have with violet in, the reason I've gone for this one is because it's more whimsical. Like I always describe it, it's fresher, it's got a vibrance about it, it's got a certain watery kind of stream feel about it, and the fruitiness is a bit brighter, and it's not so much one of your darker powdery intense ones. It's all very ozonic and very, say, watery. And again, I think this kind of suits that kind of atmosphere, that Midsummer Night's Dream kind of land of the fairies kind of feel, and it's a gorgeous fragrance. Very short one, that's all I need to say about it. So that's Violet in Love, or Violet in Love, from Nicolai Parfums. Now Eglantine, I had to Google what the heck this was, because I have absolutely no idea. And it's like it's a pink hedgerose. Now let's just keep walking and talking, and it's fallen out my pocket, so yeah. Oh no, right, I believe it's that. or something very similar to it. Now, oh, it does smell, and yes, it does smell like a pink rose. Oh, it's really nice. I didn't even know they ever smelt before. Yes, I'll tell you what it smells like a pink. It really does smell like a rose, like a pink, soft, petally one, a little powdery in that. It's what a lovely thing. Now that I've learned something new. That's an eglantine, or the hedge pink rose. And now what I've gone for this one is a rosy one, luckily, and that's Sirens and Sailors from Juicebox. Now this one is, I will always say it because it entertains me, it tickles me, is our Dr. Claire Smith Perfumes, or whatever she's called on YouTube. And it's a naughty party. It's rose. There's a couple of different roses in it. There is a kind of pinky one. There is a kind of darker red one. There's also a lot of booze. There's rum, brandy. I think there's whiskey as well. And it's a magnificently boozy, fun, happy, interesting party fragrance. Now obviously the fairies will love a good party, and lots of little booze and nectars there, and it's got the kind of naughty, cheeky, leather, suede feel in the base, so it would be a rambunctious party, let's say. And it's a beautiful fragrance, and I think it's perfect for that. So for Eglantine, that lovely, well, there's not much of it left now, pink rosy thing from a hedge, which I showed you before up the top, is Siren and Sailors from Juicebox. And last but not least is a sweet musk rose, Rosa Avernus, I believe, which we don't really get too much of in the UK, apparently. Don't know. These are kind of hedgerow flowers as well, kind of grow on the thorny things, and apparently they're quite similar to what we call a dog rose, which again will be one of these things that grows in a bush. And apparently it's quite heady and quite a white florally smell from what I've found. Don't know. I mean, I might find some down here so I can sniff them, but I've got no idea. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not one of them influencers who go, yes, I can really smell the unicorn rose. It's really vivid. And just make stuff up. It's whatever. So I've chose a white floral to go with it, a heady white floral, and obviously I've gone for jasmine. And the fragrance I've gone for that is this would be Oberon's fragrance, I think. I don't suspect they're quite as dark or interesting or as exciting as this, but I've gone for Mugler's Alien, the original. It has to be the original from back in the day, and we all know what that is. That's this big, musky, dark, bold, cashmere-y, but a nice cashmere, lovely white musks that are not too much, and of course the beautiful, alien, intoxicating dark jasmine, which is magnificent in it. And again, I don't really know what a sweet musk rose, Rosa Avernus / dog flower, dog rose is, but this fits it because it says it does. Okay, so so for them is a Mugler's Alien, which would also coincidentally suit Oberon. Okay, and finally, because we saw some on my little trip, and they are very related to fairies, like bluebells, because the droopy kind of bell things, it's supposed to be where fairies can hide and kidnap you, which I love, don't I? And foxgloves apparently smell a bit like heliotrope, so we're going to go for a heliotrope dominant fragrance, which also has another magical kind of foresty flower in there, lilacs. Lilac Love from Amouage, which, like as I just said, is a mixture of kind of lilac, this white chocolatiness, the heliotrope cloud. It's like a soft cloud though, it's not too much. It just gives a kind of almond dust around it all, but it's basically all around the lilac, which is magical, and that kind of white chocolatey notes, and the clean kind of sandalwood feel in there. It's a magnificent fragrance from Amouage, and yeah, I thought I'd put it in because of the foxgloves, which smell like heliotrope. So yeah, I'm pushing my luck, and that's your bonus one. So for foxgloves is Amouage's Lilac Love. So yeah, that was just it's a short one, it's a Wednesday one, it's a passion of mine. If I can get Shakespeare into my fragrance videos, why not? It is of course Midsummer's Day, or the day after, or the day before when this goes up. Just work with me. Which basically means somewhere in the world it will be Midsummer's Day where this goes up. And like I say, it's a magical day. It's the longest day of the year. It goes dark when it's not cloudy here, which is not often. About 9:45, maybe even pushing 10 o'clock. So that's it now. Now we're in the kind of it getting darker and sadder and more grim and colder, sadly. I don't think we're going to have much of a summer this year, are we? But yeah, so that's all this video was. I mean, are there any other Shakespeare plays with flowers? How would you have scented these flowers? Do you have these weird flowers in your country? Obviously Shakespeare's from the Midlands, he's from Stratford-on-Avon, so I suppose it would have been what grew round him when he was a young un. Alright folks, yeah, what's your favourite Shakespeare play as well? Don't be shy in telling me. I think mine is A Winter's Tale, because I was in it as a kid, and it's a great story. Alright folks, thanks, bye. Yeah, I'm not quite done, but I thought I'd just end it with a little quote, a very little quote, and one I'll get right first time. And I think it's really appropriate for the world we live in right now. Lord, what fools these mortals be. There we are. Thanks folks. Bye.